Good Friday, YouTubers. I'm owner-operator Chris Lasakis for Native DNA. This is another edition of Native DNA on YouTube, where today I would like to bring to you a full discussion on the Roma population of Spain. I'm very proud, very happy to be able to be back with you. It's been a while since I've done a video, and I'm very thankful to be able to do this one. This video comes at the request of one of our faithful customers. And I'm so sorry it's taken me a little while to get to this video, but I wanted to make sure that I did it because it's a fascinating topic. The Roma people are fascinating people, have a very fascinating genetic history. As many of you may know, the Roma people collectively come from northern and western India 800 to 1,000 years ago, and parts of Pakistan too. So many times when we test people of Romani heritage, Roma heritage, they'll either show Northwest, North India, or Pakistan to various degrees. So yeah, that's who they are in a nutshell. And throughout the centuries, they moved west from northern Western India and Pakistan across the Middle East, Turkey, Iran. You see that a lot of times in people with Roma heritage, into places like Slovakia, Hungary, Croatia, even Italy. And then further west, continuing into northwestern Europe, you've heard the term Black Dutch, and all the way to west to Spain and France and the British United Kingdom. Irish, you've heard the term Dark Irish. Generally, that's referring to people with Roma heritage, again of various degrees. So without going in too deep on that yet, I wanted to show you the Spanish Roma population run at 17 STRs with our old Pinnacle calculator, Pinnacle 2013. I still use this calculator to perform analyses to get a first look before I load the full 28 STRs, depending on the type of analysis that you have, or that you have alleles available for, or that you've purchased through us. We also, of course, accept previously obtained STR-DNA profiles from other companies. So it's not always run at 28 STRs. It varies. So we're going to go ahead and find Ancestry for the Spanish Roma population. So you can see here, obviously, Roma, Spain is number one, very strongly correlated. There's a real strong power of exclusion here. For this population, you can see the gradient, 3.76 times 10 to the 14th. And typically, I don't analyze the AMP populations when comparing a pure population, like which this is, for example. So the nearest neighbor would be right here, Valencia, Spain, 1.28 times 10 to the 17th. So almost 3 orders of magnitude, basically 3 orders of magnitude behind the Roma Spain population. So that's really strong. And the Spanish Roma population, that makes sense because they have very distinctive DNA features. And so it's going to stand out really well. And you can see that it does. So Transylvania, Romania, you can see is right beneath that. As I mentioned before, as the Romani people moved west from the Middle East, as they came across from South Asia initially, Pakistan and India, they continued their westward trek through the Middle East, passing through other countries besides the ones I mentioned earlier, would be like Bulgaria, Romania, and then, as I mentioned, through Turkey, Slovakia, Hungary, Croatia, Italy. Basically, Roma people, to a certain amount, covered all of Europe. In mostly smaller communities. There's some bigger ones, but Romania has a tremendous Roma population. Very large Romani population found in Romania, and neighboring Bulgaria as well. Very large. I've actually had the privilege of meeting some Romani people from Bulgaria that were visiting in the United States a few years ago. And so that was a really neat opportunity. A very neat, distinctive culture. A lot of them are very talented in the arts, in writing, poetry, dance, and song. Very good musicians. So their culture is fascinating. It's really a fascinating culture that a lot of people in the world are not familiar with. So that's another one of the reasons why I wanted to do this video, is just to share kind of a little bit of their cultural background with you guys this afternoon. So continuing on down the list, you can see another population from Romania. So very strong Romanian genetic contributions to the Spanish Roma. So their heritage obviously goes back further east in Europe before they made it to Spain, which makes sense. So more Spain popping up. And you can see here Hazara. This is a Pakistani population. The Hazara people, that initially I believe they came from Mongolia. A large part of their ancestry did. Some of it also over the years, because they're native to Pakistan now, and probably have been for the last 500 to 1,000 years. I'm not exactly sure on that, but have adopted South Asian genetic characteristics as well because of their location in Pakistan. So that's the Hazara Pakistan population mixed with Valencia, Spain. So beginning to, basically, essentially what this means is you're starting to see their South Asian roots. And even mixed with a little Mongolian or Tibetan-like ancestry. Again, that would just be due to their genetic proximity from old. The antiquated genetic proximity way back when they were in northern India is probably what this is, mixed with that South Asian ancestry. And then you see Roma, Slovakia, and a Basque population. I believe that's our Basque population from France. Now, actually, it's the pooled, so it'd be from France and Spain. The Basque population there. So Roma, Slovakia is the second Roma population down, right below Roma, Spain. And then you continue down, Eastern Slovakia, again, this population right here, the Skekler, I'm not sure exactly how to say that, but Sekler maybe. Anyway, continuing down, you can see Belarusians. The Belarusian population, of course, they were primarily Lithuanian in ancestry. They moved and formed Belarus way back when. So, yeah, that's the ancestry. And you begin to move up into that area of Europe, and you're going to see that quite a bit still. The Baltic states, they have Latvia, Lithuania, and Estonia. They have Romani characteristics, some as well. Not as much as further south, because you move further south along the Mediterranean and through the Middle East, just outside of Turkey there, those countries, and that's where the core of the Roma Trail went, and where it came from, South Asia. It's where they moved through. So continuing down, you can see various other populations, Romania, Spain, Portugal. There's many Romani people from Portugal and Spain, of course. And continuing down, you can see more of the same, Hungary. And moving on down the results, from here to here, the gradient is not that strong. So you can see they have a lot of different European contributions too, and they're found in a lot of European countries. And that's basically what that weak numerical gradient is showing us right through here. So that's it in a nutshell, run at 17 STRs. Now I would like to briefly show you the results run at 28. And actually, no, excuse me. It's not 28. This is loaded into our 28 STR calculator. Of course, we never really run it at 30 because there's no one that does a 30 STR DNA test. We offer the most number of STRs of any DNA testing company at 28. So that's why I refer to it as our 28 STR calculator. Run at 23. So for the Roma, Spain population in its entirety, the population that we have is 23 STRs, and here are the results. You can see, of course, Roma, Spain at the top. Very strong gradient there. These are Roma, Spain populations, so this population mixed with various European countries to try to tease out people's ancestry more effectively. And that's a process that began using in the last year or so. And it works really well. And you can see this is interesting right down through here. The Ojibwe population from Michigan. A lot of times we have noticed, as I may have mentioned before, that many Eastern USA Native American families have a Roma genetic contribution. And I have seen this over and over again. And many of them do not know. Many of them have no idea that part of their heritage is there. So that's really fascinating to be able to help people understand that and to see that for the first time. That's always really fun to see. And if you go up, actually, you can see Dutch. That'd be like the Black Dutch, Black Irish. These two showing that genetic relationship again amongst the Roma. You know, many people in the United States, going back several generations, were told that they had Black Dutch ancestry. And I think perhaps some of them, we see this sometimes, are slightly confused on as to what exactly that means. And typically when you hear Black Dutch or Black Irish, that means Roma, Romani heritage. And so many of you probably have that in your family line as well. So again, France, Sardinia, and Italy. The Caucasians from Australia. This is probably just representing, very well could be representing the United States European contribution. That's relatively more recent in time, last few hundred years. And going down, you even see Finland down here. Now, I believe Finland does have a Romani population. They have some Roma people living in the nation of Finland. However, what this could also potentially be, I've seen this signal before, is it could be, that match could be the result of, believe it or not, a Sami or Laplander, the Native American ancestry that goes back to Mongolia and Tibet, China, and the South Siberia area. The Romani have a contribution from Tibet, Mongolia, China as well. Mongolia and China, as a result of their genetic proximity, their geographical proximity to China. The northern part of India, is really close to Nepal, and Pakistan butts up against the far western, the Uyghur, Xinjiang portion of western China. And so that, excuse me, that could be what this is the result of right here. You could be looking at a genetic crossover of sorts where it's genetic similarity is being detected via that crossover. So the Finnish, they have the Laplanders. The Laplanders have ancestry from South Siberia, Mongolia, parts of maybe northern China, Inner Mongolia, China, all that. And so do the Roma. So that could be the genetic connection there, the reason why this is tripping. Or it could just be the result of Roma people living in Finland. That's possible as well. And so you go down here, you have a Lebanese population that's showing up, really nice. That makes perfect sense as the Roma people migrated from South Asia on across through the Middle East. You're going to have genetic contributions and material there. And pretty uniform on down through here. The genetic gradient really drops off after right here. You can see it 1 to the 24th and still 1 to the 24th down here. So really light gradient after about right in through here. Okay. Oh yeah, that's something else I should mention to you, is that there seems to be a very slight Sub-Saharan African contribution here too. That very well could be the proximity of North Africa to portions of the Middle East, and also to extreme southern Europe, like the southern part of Italy and Spain, all that, through the Strait of Gibraltar and stuff. So about 2 to 3% Sub-Saharan African is what I'm seeing here. You can see there's, looks like about 4.5 powers of 10 from here down to the first. Let me see, Mandinka is right here. That's from Senegal. So from here all the way up to here, approximately 4 powers of 10. Okay, orders of magnitude there. So yeah, that would put it at about 2 to 3% Sub-Saharan African for the Roma population of Spain. But I sure hope y'all have enjoyed this. Again, the Roma people are very, very fascinating, very colorful, full of life. They have a tremendous rich heritage. And many of you have seen, as we've delivered your DNA reports, that you have Romani heritage as well. And it's something to be proud of. It's really fascinating. So once again, I'm owner-operator Chris Lasakis for Native DNA, and thank you again to all of our viewers and customers, and we look forward to serving you more in the future. Thank you very much. Y'all have a great weekend.